Hey guys, this is Moses from Solving, and welcome to the first video on our tips, tricks, and also useful knickknacks or whatsoever may come to our minds that we'd like to share with all of you. So, as you can see, today we're going to have a look at something simple in Excel, and that is serial numbers. Now, love them or hate them, you got to use them anywhere where you have data. It's a unique identifier. I think it's a holdover from database management systems, but even when you're making reports or anytime you have a table or a spreadsheet, having something unique, an ID like this, will make it easier to reference it to other people. You can say, look, at serial number two, I have item number one. Obviously, this is logically inconsistent, but that's not really relevant for the purpose of this case. So, when we're talking about serial numbers in Excel, there's the way I just did it, which is you can just write 1, 2, 3, 4, and keep going on. Obviously, that's not smart. Or we can go 1 and 2, and then using this little box on the bottom right, we can drag and drop. Great, it's auto building the numbers. Much faster, much easier. But let's take it one step further beyond this even. How about having a title, and then instead, let's just have a simple formula. We'll write if our A1 here is equal to serial number. Remember, double quotes for text. If it's true, we'll say it should be 1. Otherwise, it should be A1 plus 1. Take a moment and have a look at this. Basically, what we're saying here is that if the cell above is saying serial number, exactly the same we put it here, we're going to get 1. Otherwise, we're going to get 1 plus 1, 2 plus 1, whatever it may be. Let's check it out and see how it goes. Okay, great. We have 1. If we drag this, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, till 15. Now you're going to say that what difference is there between this and what we did earlier? Let's take this one step further still. Imagine we have an item that we have to fill out. This could be A, B, C, D. But here we don't have anything. Now in the previous case we wrote our formula. Let's just type it again. If A1 is equal to serial number, make it 1, otherwise A1 plus 1, and we'll drag till here. Now it looks a bit messy. We have till 18. We could even take this one step further. If I just double click here, oh, sorry, if I just drag it till here, we can have, we're down up here till 553 we've reached. So now it's messy. Don't want to see this. So what can we do? Now we can take another if. We can use is blank. Now this is a function that checks whether or not a cell has a value. Now, a value can be anything. So even if you put like a comma or a quote or a number or a date, it will return false. So if we're going to say that if this is B2 is going to be blank, then if it's empty, we want this to be empty. See, I've used 2 double quotes with nothing inside it. It's going to give me nothing. Oh, sorry. And we close our quotes. Now I just copy and paste right down to the bottom. Wow, have a look at that. Great. This means that now we have, if we keep adding items here, we have basically an auto numbering sequence. Now, this is useful for me, and I tend to use this in Google Sheets more than I do in Excel, simply because whenever I want to keep my reports simple. I want to be able to print out my report areas without having to worry about extra numbers or selecting. This means that whatever pages I have, I can just directly print it out without having to worry about the extra numbers that may come because I dragged and dropped serial numbers to make my self ready for the future. Now, you'll say, that's pretty useful, but still, I don't find how it's going to help me. Let's take this one more step further still. Let me just make a new sheet. And okay, let's just zoom in a bit so that we're there. Oops. Okay. Let's just update this guy to same thing. Let's just update it in the form of a table. Now, I'm not going to cover how to use tables right now, but I've always found it easier to make sure you have your headers written first and keep my table has headers. But that's just a personal choice. Let's go back and put in that same formula we had first. Oh, if A1 is equal to serial number, make it 1, otherwise A1 plus 1. Great, wrap that up. But let's go back again. I'm going to add that if is blank. Now I'm going to select here. You see, instead of having the cell reference, we're looking at the same row and we're looking at the item value. This is the advantage of tables. We can look at anything in the row without having to reference the cell. And the advantage of this will just pop up in a bit. So then we'll go back. We want it to be empty. Otherwise, we want it to say A1 plus 1. Wow. Okay. Let me put item A. Great. Now let me put item B. Okay. C, D, E. Now the thing is, I don't have to drag the formula anymore. So that is pretty damn useful. Now before I go off, I'll just point out a caveat here. An important thing that should be noted. If you delete a row, things break. So if you are using this system, make sure that either you copy paste your formula again after you delete a row, or figure out a way to ensure your data doesn't need deletions. If it does, and you have to delete entire rows at a time, well, there are a few options for that, but we won't cover it in this video. Anyway, that is a quick look at how to build an automatic serial number system. We went from the simplest to slightly more complicated. But in terms of maintaining your data, it lets you keep your unique identifiers like I mentioned at the beginning. So, hope that helps you out and check us out in the links afterwards. Thank you very much for your time.